Jefferson called. He said he wanted his country back. He didn't know what happened to it since nobody seemed to give a shit anymore. So we're going to see if we can get people to give a shit again. So we have an idea of what we could do to fix this country as far as the economy and ecology at the same time. We could save water, reduce our dependence on fossil fuels, fix poisoned soils, and pay down the national debt, all through just changing a little bit of shit. It's a cultural phenomenon. We don't need any more technology. It's already done. Why are we peeing and pooping in our fresh drinking water? It's limited. Visualize with me, if you will, the President of the United States going to the bathroom in an ecologically sound manner. Congress has a lot of shit coming out of Washington, D.C. We could convert that using red wiggler worms into castings and grow the worms, which sell for $25 a pound to pay down the national debt. If everybody would just go to the bathroom in this new manner, we could fix our problems. There needs to be markets created for vermicomposting, and the #1 creator of that market could be congressional behavior shifting. If we would get Washington, D.C. to install vermicomposting toilets, that would be a sign of true leadership.
I'm really curious here. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
You ready to be in on this?
I am ready to be in on this.
You give a shit?
I do give a shit. I shit about twice a day.
I'll tell you what it's about.
Through vermicomposting, little red wiggler worms are converters. We put out an energy output. We make manure. These are manure worms. They convert manure into fertilizer that grows food and fuel. We need food and fuel. We're running out of the oil that gives us our food and fuel. Why do we go to the bathroom in our limited drinking water, flushing away gallons of the stuff that future generations depend on? By giving a shit and changing our shit, we can make a difference. And it starts with getting the White House to install vermicomposting toilets, because our leaders give a shit every day. They make thousands of pounds of it, and there are thousands of pounds coming out of Washington, D.C. All that crap can be put to use instead of just pissing off Americans. We can make culture shifts that don't require any new technology. And we can actually make a difference.
Okay,
White House to outhouse.org. And it's a simple goal. It's a peaceful way to show dissent for the actions if we're not going to stop the war, because they keep expanding the wars. If you haven't noticed, we just started another war with Libya. They're not going to stop. The only way that we can get it to stop is if we change our own behavior. Red wiggler worms sell for $25 a pound, and these worm castings are what we need to grow our food and fuel. Bill Gates just put $42 million into asking, this is Bill Gates, mind you, who put $42 million to say water, sanitation, and hygiene, reinvent the toilet challenge. And he's asking for American innovation to take the old crapper and to throw it out the window and to reinvent something. Because if you have an oil-based farm, the first time they switch to go organic, year #1, they lose the yield right away, right? Because the soil's dead. And so they're rebuilding life in that soil.
I think they should start with the pilot using like parks and recreations, restrooms.
Totally. Absolutely.
And kind of expand out so that people can see.
To see, you need to have a little toe you can dip.
Yeah.
Do you know about red wiggler worms?
I don't know. Are these the worms that you put in compost?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So here's the gig. We have converging crises on us right now. because we need soil in order to grow our food, in order for the planet to sustain life, right?
Right.
Okay. So the problem is that we're running out of fresh water. There are towns in Texas that are actually having to truck in water because they're out of water. Okay? Secondly, we know that we're at war over oil and limited fossil fuel resources that we import to our country. Second problem. Third problem is that we have a massive debt that we don't know how we're going to pay off, right? These guys can solve all three problems at once, and I'll tell you how. It takes 3 years for you to switch from oil-based farming to organic farming. Do you know a single farmer who's going to go without income for 3 years?
No.
Me neither. So what this allows us to do, if we would install vermicomposting toilets, these guys, these red wiggler worms, are manure worms. We put out manure every day. We're just animals.
Right.
That is an energy. It's full of nutrients, and these guys, the bacteria inside their bodies, puts that out and converts it to this beautiful black gold, which grows the food and fuel we need. The farmers want the worms, and the farmers want these worm castings, and what they're doing is to make that 3-year gap sustainable. They can grow fuel crops, not just corn, but they can grow sorghum, which gives you 10 times the amount of fuel as corn. So these red wiggler worms, if we would stop shitting in our drinking water and peeing in our drinking water, and we divert that energy to these guys, can give us the fuel and the food that we need in order to break our dependence on oil, and we can make at $25 a pound. Look it up on the internet, man. These guys sell for $25 a pound. That's twice as much as king crab.
Yeah.
Okay? These guys double in population every 90 days. Now the problem with our currency system is if you have a piece of gold, right, and you put it in a vault and you come back in 90 days, you still have one piece of gold.
Right.
These guys, you have 2 times the amount of monetary value. Another 90 days, 4 times.
Sure.
8, 16, 32. So you have compound interest that we could take these guys and just by changing the way we shit in America, use this to create a country, and never mind war bonds, we can use this and sell this to other countries that also need food and fuel to fix their farms, and use the profits and the proceeds from this to pay down our national debt. So we're saving drinking water, we're converting farms and getting our fuel to stop using oil so we can stop the war, and we can use it to pay down our debt so that we can live a more sustainable life in America, because nobody knows how we're going to pay that off. They just keep kicking the can down the road. So we're asking people to give a shit and to go to www.whitehouse-to-outhouse.org and install vermicomposting toilets at the White House, because you have 435 Congress members in the House every day and 50 senators every day putting out a pound of shit, and for 2 lobbyists each, that's 970 lobbyists for them. We have almost 1,500 people putting out a pound of shit every day from Washington, D.C. times 330-day working year. We have nearly 500,000 pounds of shit coming out of Washington, D.C. every year. And our leaders need to give a shit. So if we had a liquid fuels emergency, if somebody blew up a bunch of oil tankers and we couldn't get our oil here, we're screwed. You have food that won't make it on supermarket shelves. You have vehicles that won't get gas. And this is permanent. This is forever. So we're not going to be able to battle our way into every country on this planet and keep stealing shit. We're going to have to change behavior. So that's what this is about. It's not just about profanity. We give a shit because there are generations that are going to be goddamn pissed off if we don't do something. So give a shit.
No, I haven't. Go to www.whitehouse-to-outhouse.org and help us get the President of the United States to install a vermicomposting toilet at the White House.
It's a start.
I represent Portland, and we give a shit.
Jefferson.